Well, this game was a surprise. If you're a fan of the Shantae series, then you probably know all about the Game Boy Advance sequel that never was. After the lackluster sales of the original Game Boy Color title, Capcom decided they didn't want to publish the series anymore for WayForward. Now, it was kind of their fault for delaying the release of the game until after the Game Boy Advance was already out, but regardless, that left WayForward without a publisher, and the game we have here will eventually transform into Risky's Revenge for the DSi. However, it seems WayForward kept the original Game Boy Advance game on the shelf and recently decided to finish it. So, here we are, a lost GBA game being released in 2025. Now, sad to say, if you didn't buy it already, then you can't get the official... Actually, I have the cartridge outside the box here. You can't get the official cartridge anymore because it's done by Limited Run Games, which I'll stop the conversation right there on that. Don't want to get into that. The game is going to release on modern consoles soon enough though, and well, there's other ways to play the GBA-ROM if you really want to. So, is this lost game worth your time? Well, let's go ahead and... I'm really struggling there. Let's go ahead and find out. The game's story takes place after the original Game Boy Color Shantae game, with Risky Books being defeated but the possibility of her coming back still on everyone's minds. Shantae wakes up late and rushes to meet with her Uncle Mimic and her friends to help with his latest machine to protect Scuttletown, a giant fan. This giant fan is meant to blow away any oncoming pirate ships to prevent an attack, though I don't know how a single fan can manage that on its own. Maybe this is just a prototype proof of concept. Either way, at least Bolo likes the fan service. Sky and Bolo also end up meeting Roggytops for the first time, with Sky not liking Roggytops. The group can't bicker for long though, as Risky Books makes her grand return, and clearly the fan idea didn't work. With Roggytops' encouragement, Shantae rushes right after Risky and takes out her bug airship thingy, then causes the ground beneath them to collapse and the two fall into a giant chasm. As the characters note, the chasm is fucking gigantic, spanning underneath all of Sequinland. They say that Risky has come up with the bright idea of creating a machine that will shift entire chunks of the land around. Shantae and Co flee the chasm just in time to see Scuttletown shifting all the way into the desert away from the sea. It's now up to Shantae to stop Risky and get all the town swapped back to normal. When it comes to the gameplay, Shantae controls pretty damn well. Her jump has a good feel, and her hair whip attack is comparable to LEGO games. Or is it earlier games? God damn it. Unlike the Game Boy Color game, Shantae no longer is rocking lives. Instead, a game over just sends you back to your last save like most Metroidvanias. There are also no longer instant kill obstacles like spikes, and bombless picks just reset you to the start of the room with some health taken away. Available in shops, you can find magical sub-weapons like the first game, and a few other upgrades now being sold by Roggytops. These upgrades, much like Risky's Revenge, are based on the magic meter instead of being single-use items like in some of the other Shantae games. You have some good ones returning like the Pike Ball, and I found use with the Fire one, but a lot of these upgrades I ended up not using. I didn't find the need to run faster, the lightning attack is very impractical, and why would I use the Twin Mint for double damage when I could instead use the invincibility power up and just stand there where I can get more hits in without needing to dodge oncoming attacks. Also available in the shop is the ability to cut your MP consumption and shampoo boggles to increase the speed that you can attack with Shantae's hair. These were the types of upgrades Shantae 1 was sorely missing, and it's a good thing they are here even if fixing a lesser capacity compared to other titles in the series. Though I don't think that is a big deal because Sequinland is a lot more condensed this time around. Throughout the game, you'll be tasked with helping out pairs of towns that got swapped, explore a nearby area for a dungeon, then by beating that dungeon you save a relic hunter, old friends of Uncle Mimic that can help put an end to Risky's schemes. Sequinland isn't an open world like in Shantae 1 or Risky's Revenge. Instead, we got a setup comparable to Pirate's Curse, in which exploration comes from exploring the area you select from a menu. Over the course of the game, you explore the Orc Orchard, the Naga Cliffs, then the Haunted Grove. I gotta say though, these areas can be pretty lackluster. Not only does the Orc Orchard and Haunted Grove already look very similar, but the level design can be pretty basic too. To get into the main gimmick of the game, each of the major three areas are split into two planes. Each area has a machine where you can shift the two planes between two stakes, normal and swapped. Part of the level design being so bare comes from the fact that you need to be able to see the back plane, and sometimes even then it can be hard to see where Shantae is because of the front plane blocking your view. As a result, each area is lacking set pieces and overall identity. Shifting around the areas can make things even harder to memorize as well. Towns are pretty small with little in them too. Scuttletown is fine, but for the most part other towns are like a room or two. Things get a lot better in the dungeons, where level design is allowed to breathe a bit more instead of accounting for a stupid gimmick. There are a few good puzzles and plenty of enemies to fight. With Rhytops being the storekeeper in this game, you can also find her in dungeons to buy items, which is an addition I liked. Each dungeon ends with a boss, of which they are kinda meh. The first boss is fine, but nothing special. The second boss uses the dual layer gimmick, which was kind of cool. Then the third boss is just a fat fuck that Shantae only fights because she was impatient. Yeah, this poor glutton was willing to just handle the relic hunter when he was done eating, but I guess Shantae's more of a pie person than cake person, so he has to have his ass beat. You also find 3 of the 6 ammo transformations inside dungeons, with the other 3 coming from mini dungeons you tackle just for the transformation. This game may be one of the best outside of Seven Sirens when it comes to transforming, as you simply hold the R button and press a button that corresponds to the transformation you want. It can get a little clunky later when they want you to pause and swap transformations midway through a platforming challenge, but otherwise this works a lot better than in Shantae 1 or Risky's Revenge. Returning from Shantae 1 are the monkey, spider, elephant, and harpy transformations. They all act similar to their 8-bit counterparts. The monkey can climb walls, the spider can climb spiderwebs on the background, making a bit more sense than just random background walls. The elephant can dash and the harpy can fly and move super fast. New to this game are the crab transformation from Half-Genie Hero and the mermaid transformation from Risky's Revenge, which both allow you to actually move underwater. Yeah, for some reason without these transformations, Shantae can only swim on top of water. There's a new dive mechanic, but it really doesn't get any use, and I can only think of one moment that it was mandatory, and there's like 2 other moments where it's optional. And even when it's optional, I say optional because you have the mermaid and crab transformations to make it moot. Just like in Shantae 1, you'll need to find upgrades to these forms to get actual attacks. The monkey this time actually doesn't get an attack as the monkey claw is not in the game. Instead, the monkey vision is the power up you find, which lets you find secrets and also reveals the special walls that the monkey can't climb. The spider gets the spider venom, allowing it to spit a projectile like in the first game, and the elephant gets a stop attack. The harpy then gets an attack that is the same as the spider. And you know what? That goes for the mermaid too. Then the crab gets flanks, which act like morphball bombs from Metroid, though they don't propel Shantae upwards. The game is fun, but I think I can see where this eventually evolved into Risky's Revenge. Not only is the subtitle Risky Revolution confusingly similar, but the game is also short. Really short. There are only the 3 main areas and 3 dungeons, and all are small. Once you do get your head around the confusing level design, you should have no problem finding the items needed to proceed, heart holders to expand your max health, and even the ammo transformation upgrades. The game is also lacking side quests. You have the secret squigs, but they are just for 100% with no other reward. Then you also have the 3 wolves looking for video games, but the rewards are just more heart holders. You can replace the cartridges you find with heart holders and nothing will have changed. Basically, each chapter will have you complete a dungeon and swap 2 towns back to normal in order to get the items to unlock the next chapter. The game at least has the humor I've come to expect from the series. Shantae actually steals a ball from Bolo's little brother and the game calls her out for it. That got a strong laugh out of me. Though that ball is actually a cog for one of the machines to switch towns back to normal, so it's alright. Though Shantae totally thought that was a ball at first and stole it. What a bitch. Dr. Pepperplex being eaten after being hyped up and replaced with a girl that stole his stuff was a funny joke I didn't expect. I totally thought they would go in the route of playing it up that people thought he was handsome only for him to be ugly in the end, but no, that wasn't the case. Nor did I expect the girls of Lava Town to actually be some of the skeletons you fight in the game. That really caught me off guard too. Overall, the game has witty writing and that's the best part of the otherwise simple story. The game though at times seems to be wanting more, such as the Sultana alluding to Shantae's mother, but considering threads like that have been hanging in the series for multiple entries now, nothing comes of it other than more flavor text. The 3 bosses being freed by Risky to capture the relic hunters being former prisoners of the Pirate Master was a cool nod at least. Once you save all 3 relic hunters, the 4 come up with an idea to stop Risky's scheme while also getting rid of the giant chasm below Sequin Land. You see, all of Sequin Land is being held up by a single pillar of stone called the King's Pillar that Risky is slowly destroying with her machine. The relic hunters come up with a plan to use it to trigger a magma explosion which would fill in the chasm, but if the plan fails, it will destroy Sequin Land. Without much other choice, they end up going ahead with the plan and have Shantae collect the final items needed to make the machine. After collecting items for Uncle Mimic's mini tremor engine, the game goes back into the chasm to activate it. However, Risky's there mocked them as she already stole everything she needed with her own machine. Shantae won't stand for the taunting and chases after her. The final boss music is awesome, but the fight against Risky is kind of pathetic. I just used the invincibility power and whipped her into submission. That wasn't the end though, as Risky built a machine with all those things she stole, and it's the true final boss. And this fight goes on forever, but eventually Shantae destroys it. The chasm begins to fill with magma from the made tremor engine, and Shantae is unable to dance transform into her heartbeat form to escape. Lucky for her though, the magma explosion sends her flying upward, and we get the true final boss, just being a rehash of the final phase of the opening boss. Once defeating Risky for real this time, Shantae is caught by Sky and Lollipops, and everyone watches as the plan miraculously works. Risky is defeated, and the mayor of Skulltown praises Shantae's work. Sky makes sure she's going to accept Lollipops as a friend, then Shantae asks the Salt Tongue of Sequoia to bring back the Relic Hunter Expo, setting up Risky's revenge. This game is middling. Pirate's Curse and Half-Genie Hero are certainly better Shantae games. Seven Sirens, I'm not sure on how it compares because I haven't really played or watched much on that one yet. This one ranks in the same realm as the Game Boy game and Risky's Revenge. The game is over before you know it, and it lacks in content. But the game is at very least very polished. There's nothing wrong with the story or writing, there's no annoying enemies or bad puzzles, and nothing in the game feels unfair or poorly constructed. The level design is a little bland, but it's not bad level design. Then there's the music, and the music is amazing. The pixel art is great too, and when the game comes to modern consoles, the cutscenes and character portraits will have actual art. Though, I think I like the pixel art conversions more. Though that's bias. While I do think the art in Half-Genie Hero and Seven Sirens looks great, I think I like the pixel art in Pirate's Curse and this game more. So that was the lost GBA Shantae game. It's really cool that we finally got this, but it doesn't seem like we were missing out on much. The game is very similar to Risky's Revenge, and I don't know if the lacking content is because, like Risky's Revenge, they just planned out for a short game, or if the development hell is why. Not only was this game cancelled back during the GBA's heyday, but it was delayed a few times after the revival. So when it comes to modern consoles, assuming it's not overpriced, I say pick it up. It's simple and short, but the game's a lot of fun, and it's pretty polished. But otherwise, I'd recommend you play Pirate's Curse if you haven't played a Shantae game yet. I'll review all the Shantae games in the future, and I'll relook at this game on modern consoles when I do. But until then, there's other games for me to review, so have a good night. I'll see you all in the next video.